All right, welcome to the Cudders Clubhouse podcast. Our first guest today is Miss Megan Ambers.
Hi.
She is Kid Cudi's unofficial publicist, right?
Yes, unofficial.
Unofficial.
Unofficial. Yes, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know, but he probably does. He probably sees you sometimes.
I would think so, yeah.
I mean, we always are tagging him, and I'm sure sometimes he'll see them. He's retweeted. I think he's retweeted you a couple times, me a couple times, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people try to figure out, just how um familiar he is with me. And I just say, well, I don't know. But a good handful of his people follow me. So I
oh
would
yeah,
think that
sure.
he has some type of um recollection of who
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did you first get started into Kid Cudi in general? Just um, you know, himself.
Um, I mean, I think it's just like with most people. Just when around the time that Day and Night and Pursuit of Happiness came out, which was roughly 2008, 2009.
Well,
Um,
I was like 10.
yeah. Now, the funny thing about it is I 2008 I was 20, I want to
Oh, okay.
say. Yeah, so I was in college and
You're around my age, right?
yeah, yeah. So it was definitely around the time that I mean, around that time I was like really listening to a lot of um what's his name? Um Ryan Leslie,
Mm.
Cassie, Drake, Lil Wayne. Um
Did it just pop up on your feed one day, or just pop up on a
on the
blog or something?
radio.
The
On
radio?
the
Oh, day and night.
radio, yeah.
No, they
Even though I
still play
was
day
on
and night.
MySpace,
They still
yeah.
play day and night on the radio sometimes here,
Mhm.
and I'm
And
like.
that's
I
yeah.
used
It was
to call the radio station as different people thousands of times just to get them to play it.
yeah.
And
I mean,
it was
around that time,
yeah.
there were this huge um in that era we had. I feel like that was like the biggest moment for Cameron, Joel Santana, Jim Jones. So we had that whole little Bird Gang money thing going on.
Hmm.
And then you have this guy who comes out from like left field with
So
this song
so different.
that sounds so different from
Yeah.
what you're listening to. And it's just like, who is this cat? Like, who is this character? And it's just, it was just, he was just so interesting to watch. You could tell he wasn't a native New Yorker. You could tell like he wasn't from New York naturally.
Yeah, did his
Um,
sound stick out to you or more just his image or both?
I think it was more the sound
Hmm.
because he dressed like what the guys typically dressed at that time.
Yeah, yeah, with
A
the
lot of the fitteds and
Jesus chain and the bape.
yeah. So exactly.
He
So
loves
it wasn't
bape.
so
He
much.
loves bape.
So he definitely set himself up to look very much like a rapper from New York at that time, but you
Hmm.
could tell by just the way he carried himself, the words that he would rap about, it just wasn't what, you know, Jay-Z and Cameron and Jewels and all these other guys who was out rapping at the time was rapping. So,
Man,
um,
I learned later on about him. I was it was 2015 and I was actually on the bus. Since this is my first episode,
mhm.
I'm just gonna let everyone know why my first time listening to Cudi is so I don't, the next
Yeah,
episodes I
go
can
ahead.
refer to the first one. Um, I was on the bus and some kid, he was like, listen to this new Kid Cudi album. And I was like, what the heck is that? It was Speeding Bullet to Heaven.
Okay.
And I started going through the songs, and the first song I picked was Judgmental. Oh man, I have to bleep that
Right.
out maybe. But I don't know why, but like it interests me so much. Like I was like, this is a rapper, and he just came out with some like crazy like rock, like I don't even know how to describe it. I heard like some like Nirvana, like deep like sadness, like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It hit different. So I when I got home, I went and found all his albums and played them on my subwoofer. It was great. It was a whole it was like a mind blowing experience, and that's when I first started like smoking too. So those
Right.
two went like those two went hand in hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so you said this was roughly around 2015
yeah,
that you had
2015.
first discovered him.
Yeah.
Okay.
When did you start doing like this publicist type stuff?
Oh, the journalism?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, my first goal or my first dream job was to be a publicist. But after a lot of internships and stuff, I just realized that, is a lot. It takes a lot to
Yeah.
be a publicist,
A lot
but
of
I've
thinking,
always
a lot of talking, a lot of
and
everything.
just getting people like your whole job is to make somebody look good, you know, and to if they didn't have an image, you have to help build one. Um, if they got into trouble, you had to clean that up. Like that was just your job. Your job is
Hmm.
on the clock. And
Yeah, it must be stressful,
I would think it is. I would think it is. I
but you like
mean,
it.
um, yeah. I mean, it
Huh?
had a lot of different benefits. It had a lot of perks that came with it, but it was also a very taxing and tiresome job.
Well, the fact that you're
And
still doing it today shows that you love what you do. I see you all over the place, you know, on Twitter,
yeah, yeah, I mean,
you know.
of course, I'm in a different side of it.
Yeah.
So, what I used to do was I used to reach out to people like myself
Mm,
and would try to get them to write a story about whoever it was that I was representing or whoever I was working with. But now I'm more so of I write the stories because I've always just had a thing for writing anyway, dating back to high school. So writing just comes second nature to me.
yeah.
Um, so
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
It's not much people have that talent, especially within like the hip hop community, There's
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that think they're educated just because they know hip hop, but
Right.
like I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into that you have to go to college for that too.
Yeah, surprisingly, I didn't go to college for writing. I went to college for digital media.
Hmm.
But that was more so for the art form, like Photoshop and things like that. So, um, but naturally, no. I think as long as you have an understanding of grammar and the tone of what you want your readers to pick up
Hmm.
when it comes down to certain stories, then I feel like anybody can be it. Even though now you have these bloggers, I'm not gonna throw any names out, but you do have a lot of these bloggers who do feel like they're journalists And it's like, no, there is a difference between a blogger, a gossip blogger, and then an actual
Yeah,
journalist.
there's a big difference. And you can see it right here, like
No.
you actually make money off of it, so they don't, and
Oh
that's
no.
money.
Oh no, there's a lot of people that do. I mean, it's just like I just feel like there's such a overwhelming, like I feel like the industry is so saturated with different brands like Rap TV
Hmm.
who I feel like don't necessarily, you know, try to get the whole picture of the story.
But
They'll
they
just
considered
take,
a brand.
yeah.
Hmm.
Funny
I didn't know
story
that.
was I was offered a job with Rap TV
Oh
last year.
wow.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like this 15K a year job, but it's like
To be like on their Twitter page or on their like
I
research.
guess their website.
Wow, because they post a lot of things that are very questionable, very controversial,
Mhm.
and very how do I say this? Uh, just like a teenager posted it, like some
Yeah.
like I actually originally thought that it was like some like troll who owned them.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
actually Rap TV did start off kind of like a satire
hmm.
brand where you just thought like they just kind of like made things up for like clickbaits and stuff, but it's a legit um publication.
Yeah.
It's just they're not held to the same level as Complex or Hip Hop DX or Hot New Hip Hop
Well,
or
I
Revolt.
think it's so cool that you have all this going for you,
Yeah,
To get back to Cuddy, um, I would love to know like how the tour went for you. Like how did you go to any of the tour shows?
I did. I
How
did.
was it?
Um, I have to say that this tour, this recent tour, to the Moon tour, was definitely one of my favorites compared to um, PPDS, only
Really?
because I just felt like he finally had that freedom to conduct the show the way he saw it, visionarily
Mm-hmm.
first. Whereas I feel like a lot of other tours
You had the
may,
resources this time too. Like even
yes, yes. And I
yeah,
feel like just a lot of the promoters wasn't really allowing him or giving him that space to show express his creativity, and I feel like with this tour he was able to, and so you could really see what he saw mentally, and he
yeah,
was able to like put it in a physical form to where we can enjoy it. So I really feel for those who didn't get a chance to see this tour because
yeah. It might be one of
they
his last.
missed out.
It might be one of his last, and or one last time in a while. I had to
Yeah.
go because I went to the Passion Pain and Demon Slaying tour. That was my first Cuddy show. About a year after I learned about Cuddy,
Hmm.
and that was the most beautiful show ever
It
because
was.
he was singing his heart out, and I was right next to him the whole time. And it might have been like $160 ticket for like a really small venue, and like it was really hard to get those tickets because like
Hmm.
everybody wanted them. But like it was so worth it because I was right next to him. He was like singing through the late night, one of my favorite songs. And Father Stretch My Hands when he did that too.
Oh yeah.
Like that tour, honestly, that was my favorite, just personally, just because it was my first time, my first thing. And I guess
Hmm.
like Passion Pain and Demon Slaying is my favorite album. So when I saw by design, him like happy running around on stage to by design, it made me so happy. And like I love this tour too. It was it was different. It was different
Right.
because he was happy. He was like he was just happy and like he was doing everything that um he wanted to do, like you were just saying, you know?
Right.
Like I could tell like he was doing it for the fans, you know, playing love and all that, but like he was happy and like in his zone. It was just different because and he was catering to this whole stadium instead of this one little like venue.
Right.
It was cool to see him like I guess get used to that. I don't think he's used to being on the stadium tour like that.
No, but it's just the idea that he always seemed to have the ability to sell out arenas
Yeah, you think he could have done
and
that in
stadiums.
20 2017, 2018?
I think so.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
so. I think a lot of people was just I think a lot of people was just really happy to see that he was still with us, especially, getting the news that he was going into rehab just that year prior.
Hmm.
So I feel like, yeah, he would have definitely had sold out. He could have definitely had sold out tours, but
Do you remember when he got out of rehab, like, and there was this video, or it was a concert, a Travis Scott concert, and it was the first time he showed himself after rehab. He was
mhm.
in that like white puffy shirt and did Through the Late Night with Travis.
I think that was Complex Con.
It was that I was like so happy that he was back like after like all the scary posts and stuff he did. I was really scared for my dude. You
Yeah,
might not know somebody, but you can have an emotional connection. Like, how
absolutely.
how do you feel like about like what has he done for you specifically?
Mm, Gosh. Well, I don't really, I mean, those who know me knows the story because they were in my life at the time.
Hmm.
But around the time that he was, that he had released the Facebook post that he was going into rehab was around the time that I was still living in a family shelter with my son. And by that time I was there for almost 4 years. So there were a lot of tours and shows and stuff that he had that I would have naturally had gone to, but just couldn't. It's just what wasn't in my power to
Hmm.
do it. And so that's probably why now if I get the opportunity to, I'm gonna see him as often as I possibly can because I'm like making up for lost time. But
Wait, so you were struggling back then, and like, did his music kind of like help you get through that time,
um
or was it like you heard about him back then, or what was that?
yeah, I mean, I've knew about him since, when he first came out. We're like literally 3 years apart from each other, but it's just life was just way too overwhelming for me to like really be able to sit and to use anyone's music, as a clutch. It's just life was just really coming at me really hard.
Yeah.
But it was definitely during that specific time,
Hmm.
that that last couple of months of that year of 2016. And just hearing that he was going through that, it kind of just put me in this place mentally, like he could really go. He could have really been gone if he
Yeah.
did not have the strength to get help. And so,
Well, that's what makes it so inspiring to a lot of
mhm,
people. Um, I know there's 10 million or billions or who knows how many Cudi fans there are out there, you know? Who knows like
Right.
how many, but there's like two different types of Cudi fans. One's for the music. Actually, there's three. One's for the music, one's that like have the therapeutic in both, you know?
Mhm.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me it's always been both. Like it's definitely been both. Because you know, struggling in my first year of college, man, I didn't know anyone. I went to this college, I didn't know nobody. I was just walking around the streets like trying to meet people and stuff, listening to Man on the Moon 1 and like, you know, all depressed and stuff. And like I've got some ish, you know, that hearing that while I'm walking, like just like brought me to tears, you know, and made me
Right.
realize like, oh, there's better things. I could just keep going. Like no one can like soundtrack to my life is literally one of the songs that like brought me out of that, you know.
Mhm.
It was a tough life, you know. But like that's why I love Cuddy. He's special. And I
Yeah.
hate to see all the like what do you think about all this hate? The hate he's getting right now.
Um,
Do you think he deserves any of this? Like kind of like
no, but absolutely not. But I also know that um he wasn't getting the hate because he was on this level that they were just comfortable with him being in, which I don't know if you could label that as Kanye's boy, Kanye's protege, the guy that Kanye discovered. Um, but I also understand that with the progress and the glow up and the leveling up that he is having right now, especially within the last year or so, um, that just comes with the territory.
yeah. Do you think
So
that
I
that hate contributed to the low album sales of Intergalactic?
um no,
No.
I
How?
think maybe from a journalist perspective, I would definitely say I think his label probably should have promoted
That's true.
it a lot more than they did. But, you know, um you just have a lot of rappers out here that is getting all the publicity and their music is shit. Their music is shitty. But you have to look past numbers because I think everybody look at numbers and you automatically assume that um uh, selling out 90 thousand art 90,000 albums in the first week is success, and for most people it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to look at the quality of people who is coming out and they're like really saying, hey, this guy created something that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like notable film directors, notable film makers, that is really coming out. And they're saying like he has a talent.
Yeah.
He's a really talented, director. So, I know a lot of people is going to look at the numbers and just assume that that's failing, but
Well,
for
Passion Pain
an
and Demon Slayer sold 77, I think, but it's the best to me, it's his best album. And like that it might not be to other people, but like
um
77 would be considered pretty low. Um, you know, I don't know about the new Billboard thing. I don't know what that would have been like in the new Billboard
right.
category, that might even be like 8,000 in the new Billboard. Um,
Okay.
but like that album, like had Travis Scott, had you know, it had Andre Benjamin, like who cares? Honestly, who cares about album sales to me? Like,
That's what I'm saying. I
yeah,
mean,
I just want to know what you thought about the correlation between like all of his people calling him a microwave I hate that.
um,
It makes me so sad because he's helped so many people, Like
you know,
how
I
could you
just
call him?
feel like I think, yeah, most fans is going to look at that and it's going to have a reaction.
Mm,
But I feel like at this point he is ready to, you know, trudge in deeper waters, which is with the
yeah,
filmmaking.
with his
And a
future.
lot of, yeah,
Mm,
and I mean, you have a lot of rappers that can sit there and, possibly read lines off of a paper and, and they can, you know, um, like do a good movie, but, I mean, Cuddy was also nearly nominated twice for an Oscar,
yeah,
one for a role and one for a song. And it's not that many rappers who can say that. So therefore, it's like I just feel like he is really looking at a bigger picture in things, and I feel like the fans need to look at a bigger picture too. Let the newer and upcoming rappers focus on numbers and stuff because a lot of them, that's all they really have. They are a one trick pony. All they have is, how many albums that they can sell.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
done the music. He's done the music for almost 15 years and now he wants to move on to different things. I think
Well, I
if
think that's the best
anything,
thing. That's the
yeah.
best thing. Like like Kanye, you know, he he does his fashion and all that on the side, but like that's what he wants to do, and he wants to do music too. I'm a big fan of like you do whatever you want and not what your fans want. So like if he's wanting to go into this, I'm okay with that. Like I'm perfectly fine. I really hope he makes another album one day. But
Yeah.
like
Well, during my stream on Encore, so y'all check that out. Um Ian,
here,
who
I want for to hold your thought. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's like it says I need to upgrade to Zoom one. So I for my next podcast I'll have to upgrade, but it says like I have 4 minutes left with you.
yes, I see that.
Yeah, so I will upgrade and we'll have to talk again in the future too. But
Yes.
what were you saying? What were you saying?
But well, Ian, who gave Cuddy his first acting gig on How to Make It in America,
Oh
and he
yeah,
also co-written Intergalactic. He did say that there was going to be new music for the new season.
did he?
So yes, he did.
Oh wow, I did
Yes,
not know that.
he
That's
was.
news to me.
Yes, he was my special guest. So
Did you meet him?
I met him once. I met him back in April when I went to the Encore studio.
Oh, so you're a part of Encore
Mm,
or
not
just
quite.
affiliated?
Well, I'm just doing the show through their app, but
Okay,
yeah, I
okay.
guess affiliated, but I
Oh,
don't
that's very
work
cool.
directly with
I
them.
really hope that that app goes off. It was really fun watching that concert. Where we got to pick like the prayer or
Yes,
down and out. Um,
yes.
that was
So,
that was dope.
but he's definitely working on new music. I don't think that's something that he'll be able to necessarily walk away from. I
You
mean,
you got any merch from the shows or
I
any?
didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
My goodness, I love the beige the beige one that has the rockets on the back. Uh,
Oh, yeah. See, this is the understanding that me and Cuddy have. He likes to drop merch when I am at my poorest.
Me too.
So a
Well,
lot of
I'm
the
not
times
talking
I
about
miss it.
the merch that he just dropped because I can't buy that till I get paid. Like I know.
Oh, I
I'm so,
literally I saw it and I just said, get it. So I didn't buy any merch, but I did buy the vinyl set.
that's smart. That's smart.
Yes, I did buy that, and for Intergalactic, I did buy um a shirt, and I
Me
did buy the
too.
camera.
Did it come yet? Mine
So
didn't come yet. My
no,
okay, good, good.
um,
Because
yeah.
mine didn't come
Well,
yet either.
I came across a little issue with the Netflix, so I'm still waiting for that. But as in for Cuddy, yeah, no, I don't think that's going to be shipped out until a few days before Christmas.
I'm sure. I got the CD too, the Intergalactic CD.
Yeah,
Is that's
yeah.
the only physical there is. I want that signed one day, maybe.
Um,
That would be cool.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I just feel like, yeah, because I can actually see how much time you have left. You can see it on my side.
I know, I see it too.
But I just hope that the fans kind of, they just don't think about numbers, when it comes down to him. Just continue supporting him, his shows, his music
Yeah.
and stuff, because
A lot
if
of
we're really
people,
going to be honest here, there's only one person that actually sold 1 million copies per week, and that was
yeah.
Michael Jackson with Thriller. And
Oh
I don't
yeah.
think anybody has ever peaked that yet. So it's kind of like,
No,
you
not at all, man.
know, if you think about somebody who say, yeah, they sold 70,000 or 80,000 a week, just remember that's still a little bit compared to Michael,
Oh yeah.
you know?
You know,
And
well, thank you so much for
thank
coming on.
you.
You have been great. I am excited to talk to you in the future,
Thank you.
and
Likewise.
I'm excited for all your opportunities that you have with Revolt and everything going on in your life. You
Thank
seem
you.
seem like you got everything going on for you.
Yes, now I'm about to eat an edible and go watch wrestling. That's
That
my that's my that's
sounds
my
like a
type
good
of
night.
fun.
That sounds like a
Yep.
good night. Thank you so
Okay, so
much. You have a great
thank
night.
you. Same to you.